What's going on, Rob here, jack of all trades, master of none. Today I'm going to balance my tires and rotate front to back to front. This is, what is this, July already, and actually I hit a bad pothole in like December on the boulevard, and I never went to go get it fixed. The irony is I just got my brand new tires on the front. I just had all my whole front end work done, then I hit the worst pothole ever on Indianapolis Boulevard. But everything seems fine, everything's been driving fine. But now when I get up to like 80 or 85 on the expressway, I do feel a little vibration, but I don't know what tire is coming from, so therefore I'm going to balance all my tires. Now if you're on the expressway driving and you feel like you feel driving, normally if you feel like a little shaking in your steering wheel, that's your front tires, and you'll just feel it kind of in the whole vehicle, like that might be your back tires. Okay, so I don't really feel it in my steering wheel, so it might not be the front. Now what can cause that little vibration in your tire is, the easiest thing would be one of your tires is unbalanced. You know, when they wear out or whatever, they kind of lose balance, or if you hit a pothole, it bends the rim a little bit and it becomes unbalanced. Another thing can cause it is you could have a bubble on your tire, or actually a broken belt inside the rubber of the tire that you won't see, but if you take your tire off and feel all around it, you'll feel either a dip for a small spot or you'll feel a little lump for a high spot. So right now I got my big jack, my 2 jack stands, my blocks, because since I'm taking both tires off, I'm going to block both tires, the front and the front and the back on the other side. Still got to get my jack. I got one jack in the van that I carry around with me, but my big jack is going to be for the front. I hate lifting these damn Astro vans. The front of them are so heavy compared to the back. So my smaller jack's going to be on the back to lift it up. My heavier jack's going to be on the front. So I'm going to block everything off and start lifting it now. These vans are like pickup trucks. The back really don't have much weight on it, although it can hold the weight. Most of the weight is on the front of it over there. So I pulled my other jack out. I need a flathead screwdriver. I forgot to tell you that, because you got to pop the covers off of both of them, and then you just break all your nuts while your tires are on the ground. Just loosen them. I'm gonna lift them. Well, lift the van just a little bit where the tires have enough pressure on the ground. Then I'm gonna break all the nuts before I finish lifting it all the way up. Now here's one thing I want to show you about lifting the Astro van. I got my big jack here, so I'm lifting my jack right here to get this higher. See the spins? I'm gonna lift it on that little knuckle right there. That little knuckle that comes down. Now if I were on the side of the road, I would actually lift it on the shock right over there just to lift the tire off the ground. But right now, since I'm here, I want to lift on the knuckle to get the whole side of the van up, because I'm going to check everything underneath the van while I'm doing this. So like I said, right now I lifted that up because this is actually going to go on the knuckle right there to lift the van that way. And then once it's lifted, I'm going to put the jack stands. I'm going to leave the jack on, we'll put the jack stands also. Okay, now I got the front lifted on the knuckle right there. And the back one, there's really no place to lift, kind of. So I got it lifted with my small jack on the axle. This is where I got it lifted. And actually the back tire is already coming up. So I went ahead and broke the nuts on the back. This is one thing. If you Walmart actually tightens your lug nuts to 100 pounds, or to the spec, not 100 pounds, the spec of the vehicle, which on this one it's 100 pounds. Okay, but if you went to another place, I'm not going to say any names, but the big box tire shops, and they got their new employees, when they got that impact gun, they're putting your lug nuts on, you're not going to break those suckers off. They could put 400 pounds of pressure on your lug nut, you're not going to get it off. So what I carry with me when my van is I always carry my big breaker bar. I carry that with me, but I got my little T, and that's what I'm breaking them with now, because what happens with, if I go to a big box store, or I was on the side of the road, I got a flat and I said forget it, I just took it there for them to fix it, I actually put it on by hand with the T. I tell them I'll tighten it myself, because I don't want them just with the gun. So the back ones I broke no problem with the little that one. These I should be able to break no problem. The back I lifted a little bit up, because if you lift it up too high and you start to turn, the tire will start turning. Well, the back tire would just turn a little bit when I was trying to break it up with the crossbar. So I'm going to go ahead and break this one off, and then I'll get the tires out, I'll get the car braced up and go from there. See, one of these I did have to use a breaker bar on. Now when you use the breaker bar, see the swivels, the front, you don't want this sitting on there cockeyed when you're trying to use it. You kind of want it perpendicular, and you want to use one hand to hold this straight and the other to lift, or else if you need two to lift, you need one person to hold this straight, because if you put that on there cockeyed when you're lifting it, you could break your wheel stud, and that's a whole other problem. So all those are broken loose now, so I just got to lift the vehicle to support it. Alright, I got the jack stand on the axle with the jack, and on the front I took off the post so people could still come through the alley, but I got the jack stand on the frame also. You could also, if you're on the side of the road and you gotta change your flat, throw your tire under the vehicle. This way, if it falls, it don't fall all the way on you, the rim will stop it. But don't ever get under there unless you're supported by something. Jacks sometimes lose their pressure and they'll start to lower on you without them knowing. That's why I leave it on the jack with the jack stand. I mean, I got good jacks, but I don't trust anything. Alright, I checked the tire. Like when you have your tire off, you could check the top and you could feel. You'll be able to feel if there's a broken belt. You'll feel a little dip in there, or you'll feel something like really high. Check your tires on the inside and outside. Make sure there's no bubbles on the tires on the inside and outside. And before I balance this, I got a screwdriver and I'm pulling off all the little rocks that are in the tire, because you know, the rock might be in the tire now. You balance it one weight, and then by the time you know it, the rock's gone and you're off balance again. So I'm pulling out all these little stuff that I'm going to put on the balancer, because it don't feel like there's anything broken or bubble or anything. Also, one other thing, before you put it on your balancer, go ahead and just take all the other locks off if you got a balancer. I mean, all the other weights off, because you're going to balance it true anyway. So say you have a weight right here and you don't take it off and you balance it, you're going to need a weight right here, so you're going to have two weights on it. Just pop your weights off and go ahead and put new weights on to get a true balance on it. Also, these Astro vans call for 215, 75, 15, and 100T for the weight. It's 100T on that weight, the rating. Okay, I hauled the boat, so I went actually up. I went to 235, 70, 15. So my tires are fatter, they got a little bit more meat on them, and I still got the 100T weight rating, but they're a little bit wider, they're a little bit fatter. And what I'm going to do is they take 51 pounds of pressure for the weight rating on these. So another thing that you should do is just, if there's a lot of big weight on the back of it, I mean a lot of dirt or whatever, like all this dirt, just scratch out as much of that as you can, because that'll throw your balance off also. Okay, I pulled all the rocks out of that tire, but one thing that I'm going to show you is, the back one's all loosened up, but it's not off. Not till this one's balanced and everything am I going to pull that one off. When this one's balanced, I know it's good to go, scraped off, cleaned off, then I'll bring it out, take that one off, put that one on there, and only leave one off at a time. I don't got the lift, I don't got the rack, it's not up, so I'm just taking one off at a time. Alright, this is a weight puller right here. It snags behind the weight and grips it. It grips it from the back right there. I don't know if I can do it with one hand, but it grips it from the back. And then when you squeeze it, it just pulls off frontward. So easy. And then the same thing for the other side. All you do is grip it from the back and pull it up. People were wondering why I got my own tire balance machines and weight machines and all that. Is I used to have a tire shop. I used to call them black gold, man. Tire shops make so much money, although the responsibility is really big. People, you get used tires, you put them on and off and on and off, but you just don't realize how much tires were actually recalled when you buy a used tire. If that tire was recalled and you don't catch that recall and you send a family out on the road and it blows up, you're responsible for that. So it was real liability, and I had my go-to regular job, so I just stuck with my go-to regular job, but I still got all my tire machines and everything, so I do everything myself. I'm gonna just clean this one down on the inside, then I'll throw it. I'm gonna top it off. I got my thing right there to check the pressure, so I'm gonna top it off at 51 pounds. If you don't know how much pounds your tires uses, look around. It says max load 51 psi, 51 psi max pressure. I've been riding around with 45 pounds, so I'll probably take it up to 50 pounds right now. I've been riding around with 45 pounds, so that's what I'm comfortable at. Actually, these ain't 100T. 100T are what your Astro van calls for. Mine's are 102T, so they hold more weight, and that's why I paid the extra money. Alright, but these are the hand cooked H725s. Max load 1,896 pounds. So you figure you times that by 2 for your back, or you times it by 4 for all 4 all around. Alright, so I'm gonna fill this to 51, clean the inside, then I'll get on the balance machine. One other thing I wanted to tell you, since you got your tire off, you look at it, because if you got whirl wear on this side and not too much on this side, or vice versa, whirl wear on this side or not too much on this side, or more wear in the center, that means that something's wrong. If you got wear on one side and not the other, your alignment or your camber is off. If your alignment's off, you let the steering wheel go, pulls to one side, you know your alignment's off. But it's on the one side or the other side, your camber could be off, and that's if your tire is straight up or straight down. But like I said, I had my whole front end redone, so that's why the tires actually look pretty good. But when I hit that pothole, you know, it just put something in your mind that, damn, something's not right. So that's why I'm doing all this. Now with your tire machine, I got the Atlas WB42. You do have a bunch of different plates right there that was on the floor. I'm jack of all trades master, not putting one of my tools. You got these cones, and what these are for, this is the one I'm going to use. These sit in the back of your tire to make it balanced, but you put them on here. Now you don't just grind them on, you put them on real gentle, so you don't have to buy. If you just drag it everything on and off, you're going to have to wear the treads out on this. So you just put gentle and put a little bit of grease here and there on this right here. Now, not being gentle, this is the wheel cup right here. And this is what I dropped and it cracked. I got to buy another one. But it still works. You screw this on, and that's what screws the wheel onto right here. Alright, so this is what, like, I can't barely see it, but this is what screws the wheel on. These are quick releases to release it off, but I normally just spin it back off also. And then, you can't see the back, but the other lug locks it in the back. And then you get it on real snug. You don't have to, like, bog it down, but it got to be snug enough where your tire is smooth. And what I do is, after I snug it, see, look at how wobbly it is. It got to be snugged down more. So I'm going to loosen it up, snug it down about 2 or 3 times so this is kind of smooth and tight. Okay, there you are, Bob's your uncle. That's nice and tight. Alright, now the machine gives you the specs for it. Outside is A. So that's right here. You have this piece right here that slides out, and you put it on the little inner lip of the rim. Little inner lip of the rim right there, see? And that's going to be right about 8 inches. You got a number right there. There's an 8. So then you put that at 8. Oh, it was at 8 already. That's 8. Now B, you're going to need one of these, and this gives you the width of it. Now you put these little nubs right on the exact same part that you put that little thing right there, and you look at your number, which I can barely see. That's looking at 9, 10, 8, 7. That's going to be 7 inches right there. Alright, let me check this side, make sure, again, I can't see with the light. 7 inches, so that's going to be 7 inches. So that inch is 7 inches wide. So that's B. 7 inches wide. And then D is the diameter of the rim. And I know it's a 15-inch rim. So that's ready to go right there. And what I normally do before I start it is I give the tire a good push like that. And then that'll tell you the inside and the outside. And the outside is balanced, but I need 1 ounce on the inside. Outside's balanced, 1 ounce on the inside. Don't try to stop this with your hands while it's spinning, because that's going to burn the hell out of your hands. So, I got to buy all new weights also. Yes, I got a big mess here. I'm sorry about that. Now, these weights right here are for the metallic rims. That's a 1 ounce weight. Yes, I'm going to reuse it. So if you see the machine right here, this is 0. I need on the inside, I need 1 ounce. So what you do is you spin the wheel until that is perfect right there. Now see, that's perfect right there. What you need to do now is hit the weight on right at 12 o'clock. and you hit the weight on with the other side of the hammer right there. So I'm gonna see if you can see me do it. Okay, so that's still on 0. You kind of hold it there. You put the weight on right in the 12 o'clock position. Then you just hit it on right there. Then you push the tire again. Now that should be a perfectly balanced tire. Let's see what we got here. Perfectly balanced tire. So what I'm going to do is put this on the back now. Take the back one off, do the same thing, then put it on the front. Alright, I'm getting the back lugs off. Let me show you this. A little bit harder to get off because they're rusted on there. Okay, now look at the front lugs. Nice steel right there. So when it's like that, a little bit rusted off right there, I get my little WD-40 and I just spray a little bit WD-40 all the way around. Just like drip it. Drip it on this, drip it on this, drip it on this. So when you put it, put the new ones on, it'll go on snug. And also when you put them on, don't forget to do a star. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do a star. Don't do them in a row, because if you do them in a row, there's no sense in balancing your tires anyways, because it's just gonna roll wobbly anyways. This is the wheel well I want to get to. I gotta jack it up and secure it because I want to grind all this down and put chassis saver on it and re-epoxy the whole inside of this right here before I rust. But that's a whole different video. I got my WD-40 right here, and all it is these. You don't want to put it all over everything. Kind of sprayed on everything. Just put it on right here because you don't want those lug nuts to get rusted onto the those things. When you turn it on, when you turn them around, it'll be really good. So I took the other tire off right there. That got to be balanced. This one's perfectly balanced. And then I'm going to put them on. When I lower the vehicle, I'm going to take my jack stands out and lower it little by little, little by little, till the whole thing's on the ground. Make sure they're snug enough. When I put my T on to snug it, you know, you kind of don't want to bog it down with 2 hands and all your weight really tight. I don't got a freaking, believe it or not, out of all my tools, I don't got a torque wrench but to torque it to 100 pounds. But normally if you pull it up on it with one hand and push a little bit with one hand down, that's good enough. But you got to feel comfortable. Then after you drive it around, retighten them like a day or 2 later, because with the heat they might loosen up some. But let me tell you this now, if you're bogging it down, pushing and pulling with both hands or using a torque wrench, if you're on the side of the road, you're going to be assed out one of these days. So you're going to tighten it up to what you feel comfortable, and that you feel comfortable you could break them loose. Now let me get all these other tires done, then I'll finish up with you. And when you're tightening up with your T right now, don't forget, you're all on jack stands. So don't try to kill it tightening up because you're all on jack stands. You get them snug enough where you're not going to move the van back or forth trying to bog those things down. You get them tight enough where, okay, it's tight enough on there, but when I put it down, I'm going to re-tighten them up all the way and know that it's done properly. Okay, passenger side done. Balanced. Front to back, back to front. Both tires look in good working order. Next I'm gonna do is, not right now, but see that right there is broken off of that. I'm probably gonna either JB weld it. I put Gorilla Glue in the hell for a long time, but I'm probably gonna JB weld it. Got another bumper coming in, so but that's all for you today on YouTube, because I'm gonna have to hurry up and do the other side. It takes so much time shooting a video and showing you what to do. After I put the van all the way down, you know, I tightened up the tires and the lug nuts as best as I can while it was in the air. But once I put it down, I didn't put it all the way down, and then that's when I kind of tightened them up really good, then dropped it to the ground. Either way, thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, share, and I'm gonna go ahead and knock out these other 2 and then get inside, shower, and get on what I have to do for the rest of the day. Bye bye. Alright, moving right along, doing my thing. Murphy stepped in. Whatever can go wrong will go wrong. Now you're going to say, you should have known that. You should have known that. There's a tire in the sidewall. Actually, not the sidewall. Basically, if you went to a tire shop, they would tell you, we can't repair this. It's the sidewall. So, yada, yada, yada. This is what I'm going with. These tires, look at them. They're not even a year old. Now, I didn't buy the, we replace them for this, we replace them for that, because you know what they do? They prorate your tire anyway. So these tires were like, actually I got them on sale for like $113. They're like normally $140 a tire. But when they prorate it, if there's like not a lot of miles on it, say you only use 10% of the lifespan, you're still gonna have to pay the big ass difference of the tire. So since this right here is not below this line right here, I'm gonna go ahead and patch that. For the life of me, jack of all trades, master if I can't find my tools. If you don't mark this right now, when you put it on the stand, you're not going to be able to find it, let me tell you. So what I'm going to do is, I got a paint marker because I cannot find my tire markers. I'm just going to draw a line around this right here. And how I know it probably is all the way through is because this past week my tires were at 30 pounds of pressure. Well, just one back tire, but that's the only time it was at 30 pounds. I filled it up and it held it. It's still, I filled it up to 45 and it's still at 45 right now. So it did go down some, so that just the point of that might be through. But since it's there, I'm going to take it out and we'll see what's going to happen. But I'm going to mark it right now where it's at. I'm not going to mark it on the sidewall. Oh, granted, that is the inside, so I can mark it on the sidewall right here. Now normally if you go to tire shops, what they do is they put a line where your weight is at so they don't have to rebalance it. I call bull crap on that, because even though if they put the weight in the exact same place, they put a patch somewhere else and everything else is, so they should be rebalanced. They shouldn't just mark out where the tire weight was and put the tire weight in the same place. So I'm going to mark this one and pull that out right there.